G'day everyone, this is SuperCoach. I'm providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present the round 17 review. And it was another good week for me. So you always love to see that with a score of 2,619, 1,600 round ranks. So that was fantastic. So yeah, it was a really good week for me, which I'm super thrilled about. And now our season rank is 2,026, 4 trades left, 7 out of 10 league wins, which is all right. Thought it'd be a little bit more, but that's okay. And our team value, I mean, who cares at this point in the year? But yeah, look, I feel pretty good about the side. There are a couple of things that we need to adjust. I'll tell you what, um, heading into the Sunday games, my projected was 2,666. But yeah, a couple of things still did let us down on the Sunday, so that brought us down a tad. So it could have been a lot bigger, but at the end of the day, not everything's going to go perfect for your side. So I feel I feel pretty happy about my side. It's not exactly perfect, but it's getting results, and that's all you can really ask for. Anytime you go up in the rank, it's a good week. So um, you take the positives while you can, and you reassess a couple of things that might need to change here. So uh, look, it won't take too long to get through my side, as we all know. There aren't that many trades left for everyone now, so there's not as much to talk about. I think there's a little bit to talk about with my side because this week is the week where I am looking to finalise the side and hold fire with trades. So I'll explain that in the end, but we had some really good scores. Nick Dacos 139, Tom Stewart 124. I didn't watch too much footy on Sunday, but it was all right. Dawson 127, you can't complain. Like these three, amazing, amazing. Sinclair a little bit disappointing, 96. He's just a little bit of a roller coaster, unfortunately. And hey, I'm not complaining too much with the 96. Day 107, I just love to see him do this consistently, though. If he can just get us a 90 plus 90 plus is asking a bit, but if he can give us an 85 plus from here, like he's a bloke I'm holding. Fourth or fifth, yeah, fourth year in the system, can deliver some nice scores. I think he has looked better as of late, so that's really helped. But sometimes his efficiency does let him down. Now, Harry Sheezel. Now, this bloke's a massive talking point, in my opinion. I'm really considering trading him. Just from what I watched today, like the most amount of footy I watched today was that Geelong North Melbourne game. I watched the first 3 quarters. Then when I went to see my grandparents, it was my grandpa's 90th birthday, so big birthday to Bill. It was good seeing him. So that was obviously good today. But back to SuperCoach. Sheezel 65, really, I think I want to trade. He's owned by 60% of the top 1%. I don't really look at ownership in general now. I just look at the top 1%. That's the main ownership stat that I look at now at this point in the year. How many people own this certain bloke around me? So I think 60% of the top 1% own him, which is pretty high. And I'd just love to bet against him because what I saw today, I mean, I thought he looked all right in the first half at halfback. Looked pretty comfortable, one of their better distributors. But second half, he played basically full forward. I can't have that. I can't have a keeper in my side play full forward in a bottom 2 team. So, I mean, down the line, this could mean that they're playing him more there. And maybe that's to manage him. Hey, look, he's a first-year player. Maybe it's just a managing tactic, but not really sure if I can hold on to this bloke for much longer. Marlon 38, just glad he played. Worst case scenario, he can just pop on field. If we run out of trades come round 23 or something. Bronson Pally 123, super solid. See, the thing is for me, in my opinion, with Bronson Pally, I might actually do a video on this later this week, just more of a vice captain, not saying like who to do week in, week out, but I might do a different idea where I actually categorize all the good options into B, C, C, or just ignore. So, look, I'll give you a quick heads up on what I think. I think Bont isn't a VC option. I think he's purely a captain. He's a bloke where you just bank on him. If your VC stuffs up, you can go to Bont. He should give you a 110 plus every single game. So I just think Bont's a really good captain, but not a good vice captain because more often than not, he doesn't get that ceiling. And he does give you a lot of scores where, as Shorty says, dance with your sister type vice captain scores where you don't know whether to take it or not. That VC, ideally, you'd rather hit, you'd rather absolutely nail it with a massive score with a guy with a massive ceiling and a really low floor. Sort of waffling a bit here. But anyway, my whole point is I think he's more of a captain, not a vice captain. So that's probably a tactic I'm going to do down the line. He's probably not going to have blue on him for the rest of the year, unless for something else. But Zach Merritt, 136, really good. Didn't see much of this game, unfortunately. Lockie Neal, 142. I VC'd him. I think I'm just going to start VCing blokes where I think they'll score the best. And Neil, 142 was just fantastic. Like, I'll tell you what, it was the most casual 140 plus score you'll ever see. Like, Neil didn't really even look like he was trying out there, but hey, got a really good score. Imagine if he was trying, he would have scored 200. I do want to talk about Petrarca a little bit, which I'm a bit concerned with now. Like, he played most of the game forward, and he kicked 4 goals, which is great, but I did see a quote by Simon Goodwin with Bailey Fritsch out. We will look to play Petrarca more there, that sort of thing. That got me really concerned because I'm basically saying to myself, well, 2 weeks ago, so you're telling me 2 weeks ago, I paid up 660K for a forward. It's a bit concerning, and maybe it's a way to really manage him throughout the rest of the season. So now I'm starting to think I probably could have gone against this bloke because if he's going to play forward like this for the rest of the year, he's not going to kick 4 goals every week. There are going to be games where he could score under 80 just because not getting the ball, playing against a very good side. So I am now concerned with Petrarca, and I think he's a guy where if you don't have him, I'd almost just avoid him now because it's just looks like he's going to be playing forward a lot more. And I think one of the biggest strengths of him for the owner is that he never puts in a bad game. I'm now worried he'll put in a couple of bad ones. So really disappointed to hear about that. Melbourne's midfield's pretty average without Petrarca and Oliver. So we'll see how they go. If they lose to Brisbane this week with playing Petrarca, just about your best player forward, I'd like to think that they would switch that up a little bit. Rory Laird, 117, solid. He was going to be my captain if Neil didn't hit. So, yeah, that's whatever. The thought was whenever he has a bad game, he usually bounces back. I saw a stat on Twitter last week confirming that. But 117 is not too bad. Brayshaw, 107, didn't see much of this. Tom Green, 73. Look, there's just I think Connor Nash was mainly around him, and he just outdid him at the end of the day. He just really took care of him, and McInnes took care of Kelly. Now, I don't have Cornelio, so it is his 1 week where he did fire. So I'd like to think that that can change. So hopefully Cornelio doesn't kill me too much. I don't think he will. I mean, this week was a really good week, and as a matter of fact, he almost underscored. Kicks 3 goals, like his best game of the season, in my opinion, Cornelio. So we really took care of Green and Kelly and just let Cornelio run wild. Will Ashcroft, 148, held him due to some of the good matchups, so that's good. And yeah, he's really repaid the faith. Now, I am really considering holding Ashcroft over Sheezel. Let me know in the comments down below, who do you think will average more for the rest of the year? Will it be Ashcroft? Will it be Sheezel? Let me know in the comments down below. Matt Johnson, 34, got subbed off. I saw that. Yeah, he might. I think he might part ways with us this week. I know he's cover, but gee, there's no guarantee he's going to stay in the side. So if he can't stay in the side, then the cover's pointless. So Tim English, 130, and Marshall, 149. Really good result out of these two. Marshall, just about the best game of his career, in my opinion. I thought he was unbelievable. The fact that St Kilda were down to like 2 on the bench, there was barely any time for Marshall to come off. So he had 95% game time. So that's really promising to see with Rowan Marshall. I'm interested to see what the dynamic with this team is again with um, Max King out of the team. So I'm interested to see. The forward line didn't really fire though. Goulden 143 was outstanding. I might VC him against the Dogs. Just that ceiling is insane. They look for him to get the ball, that sort of thing. It's a wing role, but they look for him to pass it off to him. Toronto's had a couple of quiet weeks. I'd like to think he bounces back pretty soon. Rosie was all right. I watched the St Kilda Melbourne game instead, so I didn't have much of a gauge on what he did. I thought he'd score a little bit better against Gold Coast. Ben Keys, one CBA again. Pretty concerned here because hopefully he can just average 80 plus from here. But seems like he has lost that midfield role. Don't get it. I think there's a couple of other Adelaide blokes that aren't quite living up to the expectation in that Adelaide midfield compared to what Ben Keys would do. Didn't have much pressure around the ball, apparently, and Ben Keys gives you all that. So doesn't really make much sense to me. He was tagging Redmond. Shout out to Pig Mentality for telling me that. I think Adelaide just a better side of Keys in the middle, so it's a bit baffling. Darcy Cameron hasn't really hit the heights like I thought he would. So a bit disappointed here with that 80, but I think the role's fine, so I'm not too concerned about him. I'd like to see him lift his game a little bit, though. Himmelberg's cover for Dunkley. Hopefully Dunkley, I think he's going to be out for this week, but hopefully he's back the following week. So that is the plan there. So that's why we got Himmelberg. He's the 23rd man there, just in case. Sorry, guys, I'm still trying to I've been sick for a couple of weeks. All right. Let's get through. I'm not going to talk too much on trades because I've still got a lot to think about here. So I'm really deciding, but maybe something like this, Sheezel and Matt Johnson gives me 799K in the bank. We get in, hang on, how do we do this? I think we just put Constable there. And look, we bring in Tyrell Dewar. He is a West Coast 102K defender forward swing. Just in case there's an injury in the back line, we can cover that using Harry Himmelberg. So he's the 23rd man, Himmelberg. And then, since I've got the money, I'm really considering this. James Sicily. He is in 8% of 1% ownership teams. He's in 8% of the top 1% ownership. You get what I mean. He's in 8% of teams in the top 1%. There you go. I'm really considering this, but I got to consider all other situations, all other options here, because as good as Sis is, I got to really think about this because is it worth banking a little bit more money and having another upgrade there? I'm not too sure, but Sicily, we know what he's capable of, can do some absolutely ripping scores. So he's going to be lowly owned in the top 1%, and I like to think that's where I can get an advantage on certain teams. Got the hiccups now, that's fun. All right, so look, that's what I'm thinking early days, but there's still a lot of water to go under the bridge or whatever that saying is. Let's just sort all of this out. Let's see what we land on for. Yeah, so that's, I like to think that's a pretty good projection. I think projections early in the season don't matter as much, but at this point in the year, you get more of a gauge on like roughly what they'll get. So I trust it a bit more. This is what I'm thinking. Down to 2 trades with 7 rounds to go. 2 trades with 7 rounds to go isn't as scary as some people finalising their team after the buys and finalising their team with 2 trades and 9 rounds to go. So that's where I see. That's why I don't find going down to 2 trades at this point in the year is as scary. It is still a little bit scary. I would prefer to have 3 or more. But hey, we're here to make a huge. We'd like to finish in the top 1K. That is the aim at this point in the year. We're in the top 1%. Let's keep charging on. So hopefully, look, I'll still have a lot to think about with this team. Like Will Ashcroft at M8 doesn't feel that good. I'll be honest, it doesn't feel that good at all. Hopefully, there's a situation when Dunkley's back where I could loop Himmelberg and Day, maybe Himmelberg and Keys if that role gets worse, that sort of thing. So, look, vice captain and captain haven't really had much thought. Yeah, by the way, these trades aren't confirmed. I'm going to look at any other option possible and do what's best for my team. But it would be quite fun. Not many people own Sicily at this point of the year, and as you guys know, I'm a Hawthorn supporter, so it would be nice. But I can't let bias get in the way of what the best decision is here. Vice captain and captain, I have no idea. Look, at this point of the year, it might be Gordon. Oh, Dacos against Freo. That's a piss take. I think I want to VC Dacos here. Captain, well, this is where I want to fall back on a pretty solid option. Merritt at the Cattery, not too sure there. Sinclair. Who are the main blokes I can trust as captain? It would be Petrarca, not Petrarca at the minute if he plays his forward role. I can't trust him now. Neil, they play Friday. Bond plays Thursday. Merritt. Dawson's hard to trust. Who have Adelaide got? GWS. Laird. Oh, no, I'm not captaining Laird against GWS with what happened in round one. Stuff that. Look, I'm thinking maybe Dacos in the Merritt early days. I don't feel super confident about Merritt playing at the Cattery, but I really think Dacos is going to score pretty well here. But hey, maybe the best move. Oh, I can't captain Dacos. Like he's as good of a player as he is. I can't captain him just because of that low floor. Freo could do some weird crap to him. So I think Dacos VC in the Merritt. I'm thinking early days, but not too sure. Anyway, there are a couple of things I'd like to do. Just real quick, shout out to my mate Lockie. He hasn't really taken SuperCoach seriously before, but he is now 540th ranked. So shout out to him. He got the 23rd best score this week. So you will see this here. He got the 23rd best score this week in SuperCoach. Amazing effort. One of my good mates, so you love to see it. He's now ranked 540th. So shout out to Lockie. I'm not sure if he watches my videos, but there you go anyway. Let's see how he went in and actually another thing I saw before as well. In the SDS Times Pro League, shout out to Stuart's Misfits, Ryan. 317 overall rank, and he's in one of our leagues. So shout out to Ryan. Good to see you doing extremely well this season. So keep it up for the rest of the season. Hope you finish even stronger. So let's get into the leagues. I haven't done leagues in a while. So we had, all right. So the SDS Times SuperCoach. Oh no, sorry, I'm on round 18. Round 17. The SDS SuperCoach League. We played against Dylan, who's ninth. So we had Mitchell, Thomas. Yeah, Luke Ryan went bananas. He's a bloke. If I don't go Sicily, I might just bake 100K and just grab Luke Ryan potentially. I don't know. Still a little bit to think about. He's got a couple of rookies here, so unlucky, mate. Still a really good score. Still a pretty good score considering a few of these blokes you had on field for you, mate. And then also in the SDS Times Pro League, I'm struggling in this league, by the way. I needed to get that win against Daniel Crano, so unlucky to him. I think what really helped in a lot of my leagues was Will Ashcroft just going bananas. Zeeble, he was a bit stiff at the sub. Canelio, I think that's what hurt our rank just a tad, just because we didn't have Canelio and so many people own him. Red Dog, he had a little hamstring issue, but he's all right. McRae, 81, he got a little stiff there. So let's check the SDS SuperCoach League. So I'm second here. Shout out to Mark of the Year, Riley. He's doing really good. He's a game ahead in first, and that's really good. It was good to get I know Crano's in the other league too. Sean, Daniel, some of the blokes are in the top 8 here. The top 8 has a 2-game gap here. So With 3 rounds to go, it's looking pretty solid, this top 8. But Dylan and Jake could still sneak in there, probably past these guys. There'll be a bit of a struggle to get in. But thank you guys all for joining that league. And the SDS Times Pro League, yeah, I'm really struggling. I might not even make top 8, but it was good to get a win against Daniel. I really needed that. But there are still quite a few competitors with 3 rounds to go. I mean, it's probably as low as 15th can make it. 2 games to go. So hopefully we can stay in. It would be pretty embarrassing in my own league if I didn't make finals. And Brad's doing really well. He is in 3rd. Ryan is just clearing the competition. He is 2 games ahead. He'll finish 1st. If I could somehow sneak into the top 4, I don't think that's possible, but if I could sneak into the top 4, that would be nice. And yeah, look, I'll leave it there, guys. I don't think there's too much to talk about. Do a few videos this week. Well, I can before the season really just starts hitting a decline in terms of uh, people caring, that sort of thing, just because everyone's running out of trays. It's not as much to talk about. It's really BC and C. So thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys had a sensational week in SuperCoach, and I hope your footy side won. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good night. Cheers.